Yes, man, Chubby. So this is an unboxing, totally an unboxing video. Obviously, it's a boxing channel. We like to talk about boxing. As I said, boxing is a microcosm of the world anyway. But I've been watching a lot of programs on death row, on the death penalty. I have very mixed emotions, man. They're very moving programs, extremely moving programs. Like, if you were gonna ask me, should be, would you believe in death penalty? 80% no, 80% no. But I understand, if you've had your family, your mother, your daughter, your sister violated, abused, and killed. I kind of understand what you want. The ultimate penalty. The ultimate penalty. Does it satisfy, the victims? And there was a lot of victims, not just the person's been killed, a lot of victims. I don't know, man. I've seen instances. I watched like 20 programs now on this. And I've seen a variety of different opinions. People have been so strong, victims. They've had loved ones killed in a brutal manner. That forgive. That disbelieve in the death penalty, and others are like, no, I just want it to be finished. I understand the just want to be finished bit, but there's a few arguments for death penalty, right, which are largely facile. People say, it's a deterrent. Don't do this badness because then you get killed. That is not backed up by data at all. The countries definitely do not have a lower death penalty. A lower murder rate at all. In fact, they have a higher one. People say, these people, why should they be kept alive? Why should they be kept alive? Because they're, using up public money. When it could be put to death. But actually, putting people to death takes more money from the public purse. The appeals and all that kind of stuff. So those two arguments don't really work. The one argument that's interesting is truly revenge. It's like someone has done terrible crime, and kill people. Should they be killed? And that's to me up to the family. That's to me up to the family. But you'll find, like in a lot of these cases, the family don't get no satisfaction from it. I understand, by the way. Someone brutalized a member of my family. I mean, I'm not a big fan of my family, but if they had, should they face death penalty? Obviously, a lot depends on how they react to it. Were they high? Were they drunk? Was it a one-off? Did they have a history of this kind of behavior? Were they evil, torturing? There are many factors. If someone done something truly terrible and vicious and had no remorse, then yeah, I guess I'd be like, forget about it. Put them away, man. Get rid of them. It doesn't matter anyway, because they're not gonna get out. Don't get out of prison, and put other people at risk. But prison ain't great, but it's better than being dead. So if someone done something brutal and had no shame, they didn't care. They didn't say sorry. Should they be put to death? Maybe. But it doesn't bring anyone back. Yeah. the family who've lost loved ones, they get closure, I guess. You could argue that you get closure, like it's finished, it's done, it's finished. But does it make anything better? Does it bring anyone back? I don't know. I'm in that position. You'd have to ask those people. It's a very difficult subject. But one of the main ones is for the Triple B is people always get things wrong. People can get things wrong. And what happens if they got it wrong? You remember when Jill Dando got whacked? Yeah? He got whacked. She got whacked. And this guy called Barry Bolsoro, the local widow, harmless really. And he, police officers, female police officers came up to him and tried to get him to admit it, and he did, and he got found guilty. He had 8.5 years in prison. And by the way, he didn't get a single penny of compensation, even though he lost 8.5 years. Okay? This is basically this mentally ill guy who's he claimed to be like Freddie Mercury's cousin and be a karate champ. Yeah? Now, he was 8.5 years, so he could have potentially, if there was death penalty, he could have been put to death. Imagine that, man. This poor guy. So, this is why all the appeals exist and everything. I understand that. This is why the appeals exist, and they, try to make sure 100% of these people are guilty, but it makes no sense to me. But, prison ain't great, man, Prison ain't great. You got no freedom. You get told what to do. You'll never get out again. You'll never hurt anyone, if you've committed a severe crime. But like I said, there's a chance that some people, and it's a small number, but some people are found not guilty. Do you remember? There's I think in Britain we gave up the death penalty in the 1950s. And there's this guy, right? I can't remember his name. I can't think of it. And he said he was like a retard, and he's like, and the police turn up, and he said, let him have it, which could be interpreted in two ways, right? Let him have it, like let him have the weapon, and let's give up, or let him have it as in shoot him. The jury decided that let him have it meant shoot him, and they executed him. Okay, I can't remember this case. It's well known, man. But this guy was like mentally unwell. He had a low IQ, and this guy get hung. I think it was. It's just no good. It's no good. So ultimately, do I believe in death penalty? No, but I can also understand why some people do, especially if they've lost a loved one to a brutal murder. What I think should happen, I think the American law system for a Western country is extremely brutal. They lock people up a lot, Apparently, you can link, because you get, apparently prisons are, you get towns, right? And everybody employed in a local prison. And if the prison has got like 98% occupancy, they lose money. There's private prisons. You get me? And so it's a necessity that these prisons are full all the time from a commercial reason, for an employment reason, and that's sickening to me, Can a trippy change the world? And no, but I will say this, man. There's countries like Sweden, Holland, Portugal that try and not to punish people so much. They try and help them, especially with drugs. If they got problem with drugs, they won't treat them as criminal necessarily. They'll try and help them get away from the skag or whatever it is. Okay? And it's had a lot of success. So I believe there is. I mean, pure punishment don't work, right? Pure punishment don't work, right? Let's say you come into let's say you've done a bit of crime, a small crime, okay? And you get nicked. You go to prison straight away because you live in a fascist system like America. And you come out, you got prison record. You got a PO. It's hard to find a job because what you been doing the last 2 years? I've been in prison. And you can't find a job. I've had businesses. I wouldn't, I have to be honest with you. I wouldn't take on a guy who'd been to prison for the last 2 years, I'd be suspicious. So it's a difficult thing to balance. But there has to be a system that tries to rehabilitate. If you punish and shut people out, firstly, they can't get a job even if they wanted to, because of their background. Secondly, you get mistreated in prison, by screws and the police and the judicial system, which, by the way, is bad as anything, right? And then you come out and you're like suspicious and you hate the system, What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to carry on, man, I'm going to carry on going, well, what am I going to do? I can't get a job, Fuck the police. Fuck judicial system. And I'll carry on offending. What? So what? So there's a cycle there. Does Chippy know what the answer is? No, not necessarily. But I know the system now is not working correctly. I know it's not working correctly. There has to be a balance. There's a balance between protecting, society from the real wrong ends to rehabilitating people. You understand? And I don't believe in most countries, in the UK, for example, that balance is correct. Do you know the UK nicks more people, i.e. imprisons more people, than any other Western European country per capita? And probably as a straight number. I mean, this can't be right. Anyway, peace in the Middle East.